And our faces in 3, 2, 1. Faces. Jason, bring us in, brother.
Stop talking about everyone.
What's up, Pool Player Nation? Welcome to another edition, the farewell finale edition, sad faces all, of Tuesday with Teammates. After 10 weeks, this is our 10th week joining you on Tuesday nights. We're all grown up now, and we're ready to go out into the big bad world. So we're going to conclude at least our first season of Tuesday with Teammates. Who knows? At some point we may be back, but tonight's the finale. Doesn't have to be a sad thing; can be a good thing. We're all excited to be here.
We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna have some fun, but
we don't have to listen to Jason gloat anymore.
Yeah, there are no crowns on the screen right now.
No crowns this week. No crowns this week. I do want to mention though, we actually debated whether or not to do the show tonight, and with everything going on in the country, obviously the protests and the riots, and it was a tough decision. I'll be honest. We really talked about it, and we felt like to not do it was not necessarily the right message that we wanted to send. We felt like, as 8 people living in America, we should at least be able to acknowledge that, the country's in kind of a bad way right now. I know there were several leagues that were supposed to come back this week that have not been able to do that based on some of the things that are going on in different communities. And obviously here in St. Louis, we know all about the protests and the riots. We had them back in 2014.
Mike Brown.
And so I hate to say it, but we're kind of conditioned to it now. I mean, we saw it in 14. We saw it later that year, with when the legal stuff played out. And so, it's sad. It's I don't think any of us have answers. I know we all probably want to be real careful kind of what we say about it, but I think we can at least all acknowledge it. It's a sad thing for our country, whatever way you look at it,
It is. And to speak to what Jason said about kind of whether we were going to have the show, what we ended up, the biggest deciding factor was that we wanted to bring a little happy into everything. Like the last 2.5 months have just been rough. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, it's like you're in a bad movie and you expect to wake up, right? And so we ended up wanting to have the show, because we wanted to bring some happy. The topic of tonight's show is we're going to remember all the good moments that we've had on the show for the 2.5 months. I'm kind of spoiling the game. We're not going to play the game right now, but that was the biggest reason. We wanted to bring some light and some happy in this dark moment, and hopefully you guys can hang out with us, and just for a little while we can just put pause on the world and just chill out. That's why we did it.
Well said, Steve. Well said.
I'm the hippie of the group, if you can't tell.
You are.
I am the hippie.
Do you have shoes on?
I don't. I have flip-flops on. I'm not even kidding.
He may not have pants on, to be honest.
I do have pants. I do have pants.
Fine.
But, I mean, it's 50-50 whether I've got pants on. It just so happens I had an errand to run before the show. So, I mean...
What's the name of the picture in the background, Steve? I know that one. I can't remember.
It's Scream, and you'd think it's by Van Gogh, but it's not. And I can't remember the name of the artist off the top of my head. Munch. Thank you. Yes, Edward Munch, right? Yeah. It's German, I think. And I like it. Most people look at that painting and they're like, "Oh, it's sad and it's scary," and I get a different vibe from it. I see a guy just trying to take a moment and just block out all the world and just focus for a second. I dig that painting.
One. That's what I was asking.
Kind of an appropriate painting for right now.
Right?
It is. It's the right painting for right now. It's like
it is, because everyone's just so frustrated. Everyone's just so tense. I mean, we just spent 2.5 months in the house. Some people don't have income. Some people don't know where food's coming from. And then you got this stuff going on. It's just like a huge powder keg. And everyone just, again, I'm the hippie, so everyone just needs a big old hug. That's my solution.
I was telling Tracy's husband Bill yesterday. I said, wouldn't it be nice if the rest of the world could just be a little more like APA League? And you know what I mean? That sounds cheesy and corny, but my God, it's like true. If you could just come together in the way that all these different kinds of people come together when they play pool, and the communities that are created there, if we could magnify that across the world, man, I think we'd all be a lot better off. So
I'm just kind of glad that the murder hornets never materialized too much.
You know what? To be honest, I think I prefer the murder hornets at this point.
Don't rule anything out, man. Don't rule anything out.
Yeah. This is probably not a good idea.
Mark, that's the first time I've ever You kind of at a loss for what you were like, yeah.
I can.
He already said it.
I think I said when I said choose your words wisely, Mark suddenly got very quiet.
That's right. I can't say anything now.
Yes, you can. Murder hornets you can talk about.
Yeah, you talk about all the murder hornets. You got murder hornets down there in Carolina?
No.
If they're anywhere, they're in the South.
I'm in Raleigh tonight. So.
Oh, what did you eat for dinner?
What did I had bacon and eggs and
That's
coffee.
dinner. That's
Little
perfect
breakfast for dinner kind of thing, huh?
Coffee?
I always do. The bacon eggs is easy for keto. I don't have to think about it. So
It's true.
I was going to go with the sausage, but then I figured, well, might as well use the bacon. Exactly.
It's a tough choice. Tough choice.
And then I had a
go with the
Hawaiian
cake.
coffee, and then I also had the toasted graham, which was really good.
No cinnamon toast crunch.
No cinnamon toast crunch. I actually, Steve, I got a story for you. We were down at the
gosh.
a couple of days ago.
at the
Back
what?
a couple of days ago. We go to the store. What's that?
What down at the what?
Condo.
Oh, the condo.
Yeah, down at the condo, and I go to the store, and I'm with my son Mason, and I said, "Let's get some breakfast stuff." And he's walking down the aisle of the cereal and says, "I'll take this one." I said, "No, you can't have that." And he goes, "Why not?" I said, "You cannot have that one. That's Steve's." He goes,
Yes,
And he-
all
and
of
he-
it's mine. Everywhere.
"That's right." I said to him, "I said, so you can pick anything else." And there's, of course, there's 100 different cereals. He goes, "Yeah, but I kind of feel like that one." I said, "Well, you can't have it. I'm not. You have to get it. You
Did
pay for it
you
yourself."
really not let him have cinnamon toast crunch?
No. He went with Captain Crunch.
With crunch berries?
Yeah, Crunch berries.
I
Yeah.
love that cereal, but it like rips up the roof of my mouth.
Yeah, you gotta let it soak and marinate a little bit. Then you gotta
I
you
like
pour
the
it, you walk
crunch.
away, you come back.
You got to
But I
suffer
wanted to
for your
make sure
cereal with
that-
the crunch
I
berries.
also like the Lucky Charms, if I'm being honest.
They are magically delicious.
Mm-hmm.
There's very
we all
few
had
cereals
cereal.
that I do not like. There's very few that I refuse to eat. Like
I feel
Raisin
like-
Bran, blah. I don't want any of that.
The older I
Right.
get, the more I like it.
Raisin bland.
Raisin
Yeah,
Bran.
exactly right. That's why I don't like it.
Maybe I
Play on
should
words.
stop drinking.
Freudian slip.
Have you been drinking pretty good tonight? You seem a
No,
little.
I've had like 2 sips of, but I don't drink liquor normally, and I'm liquoring tonight. So.
Liquoring it up. That's a pretty glass you got that in.
Thanks, it's vintage.
Yeah.
Hey, did you
Murdoch's
make a
been
drink out of
two-fisting
Mike
it too,
Pinozzo's
so.
Quarantini
Oh,
book?
I've got
I
mine.
didn't. I did not. I did not because
Show it off, Steve. Steve's gonna show the
I've
book.
got it.
just
I'm
got
getting it.
ours yesterday, and I didn't have time to check for ingredients. But I like a fancy cocktail. Like I even have vintage swizzle sticks. I have some from Vegas hotels from back in the
Warranty.
day.
Yeah, there's that book.
Yeah, so this
Nicole,
book.
you must have a Pepsi. Raise it up. Where's your Pepsi?
High five that Pepsi girl.
There we go.
That's what you got tonight.
Yeah.
Can with the straw.
I
Yeah.
don't have anything tonight. I am
Nothing?
nursing. No, I'm nursing a really terrible headache. So
Aw.
water
no.
has been about the limits.
Where is it at? Back, front, top? Where's the
Right
headache?
here,
in their
right
head,
over my
in the
eye.
head part.
So
of
what
her
is that
body.
one? Because hypertension's in the back.
Mark is now a
at
medical doctor.
Well,
by the way.
well, I've had so many of them. So migraine's the front, right, Becky? Migraine. Yeah. Okay. So it's a
Yeah,
migraine.
the ones that are up here are typically caused by Mark talking.
Exactly.
So-
Or,
Well, I will
Those
say
are
I
breast
had it long
headaches.
before Mark
Or
showed up,
posting on
so it's not
Facebook, that would be
Mark's
another
fault
one.
this time.
Nicole, are you okay?
I've never been better.
Okay, great.
Never, ever,
Never, ever.
Living your best
Wow.
life, being at home.
She is
every
living her
day.
best life.
You damn right I am.
Peggy, how about you, lady?
Corona seltzers.
Okay.
yeah, that's why she had to go to the store and ignore my phone call. That's why she had to make sure she got them for
But
this.
it's
I
not
talked to
all
you
about
3
you.
times yesterday.
What's
Didn't I? Didn't I talk to you 3 times yesterday?
Well, for only about 3 hours. Oh, come on.
Clearly not enough.
Steve, did you want to share anything about that book?
Yeah, that
I'm
book's
sorry.
awesome.
I feel bad. I kind of usurped your.
I was just showing it.
This book is cool though. So you guys know, some of you guys know Mike Pinozzo. He's the publisher of Billiards Digest, the magazine. So during the first 30 days of the quarantine, he started making signature cocktails each night and putting the recipe on Facebook. And so everybody liked it so much that he ended up putting it into a book that a bunch of people bought. So this is the book that we just got. And so when I saw Tracy's drink, because I know Bill got a copy of the book, I thought,
Yes, he
Classy.
Maybe they were trying out one of the Quarantini cocktails.
did.
So
No.
Yeah, so
But
these are
there's
his
always
photographs.
time when we're done.
Hey, Steve, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fancy are those drinks?
very
They're pretty
They
fancy,
look
bro.
very fancy.
And they're
Okay.
presented well. And also,
Like, are they like time intensive to make?
I don't think
I think
anything's
they are
overly
ingredient
compli-
intensive.
I think
Okay,
you're gonna have a
that's
full
the thing.
bar. People aren't gonna have. You're gonna have to go buy this stuff. This is not something.
So
you
the
can-
barrel I won at the bingo for whoever I went to, we won like a wheelbarrow full of like liquor. Like
that's if it's weird stuff. That's
I'll be-
probably
I'll be
this.
over after.
I do want to say I hate to interject, but I do want to say this one point, Mike. If I understand it correctly, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. All the proceeds from the book, the profit, he actually donated to a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe for some local restaurant that had started to collect money for the wait staff that was
For their
impacted by
staff.
COVID.
nice.
Yeah, so like, and I think he's actually doing another run. Like, so I know one person in chat asked where to get the book. We'll get that information. We'll post it eventually. Once we talk, obviously we need to talk to Mike because he has no idea we just did this. Hi, Mike. We love your book. And
Yeah.
so it was a really cool thing he did.
It is a cool book, though. It's very cool.
Speaking of which, Jason, how did the t-shirts get another round of sales?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did a whole nother round of the COVID shirts.
How'd that go? Or how's it going?
It's it. They ended it yesterday, right? It was only for like 4 days, and then they take those orders in and they have them produced, and they turn those shirts around in like 5 days or something. So
Pretty quick.
I think several hundred more sold. So
Okay, cool.
people are definitely. In fact, I don't want to mention it yet. They'll have to wait for. We got a new T-shirt in the works that I think people are really going to dig, and it's really appropriate for the time we are in right now. So I'll just leave it right there.
Did anybody vote today? Just checking. Vote.
So, real quick, I want to answer a question because go ahead and do the voting thing. But Brian Romano, is the APA concerned that this is important? I'm sorry. Sometimes
All
I do
right.
this. I'm the guy.
You're fine.
It's chat. This is a good thing, and it will tie into actually voting. Anyway? Is the APA concerned that COVID-19 cases will go up because of all the rioting, and then the pool halls and bars will have to close up again? Of course,
How could we not be?
100%. I mean, of course.
How could you be an American and not be worried about that? How could you not live? How could you live in this country and not be worried about that?
So
I will say this though about it, which is very interesting. So some of you guys, I think we talked about it on last week's show, the Lake of the Ozarks, Memorial Day weekend. You saw it on CNN and all that. There was one case of COVID that they confirmed was there, but interestingly enough, 10 days later, we haven't heard of any additional cases tied to that. So I don't, again, maybe outside is not as big a risk, or I have no idea, but it seems like people are taking appropriate enough measures to try to mitigate what's going on in that regard, but definitely still a concern.
They said it before. A bunch of people have said the new normal is going to be more people washing their hands. Locations are stores, restaurants, everything else are sanitizing everything. I don't think that's going to go away for a long time. So, I mean, I think we're doing more things to kind of.
I want to know who was not washing their hands before all this stuff.
There's
'Cause
probably
I
lots
know
of
you
people.
nasty people out there.
Exactly. So
I wouldn't wash my
I
hands
think she was
after.
looking just at me.
Like you
But
wash
it's
your
kind
hands
of
after going to the
funny.
bathroom, but you don't wash your hands after I would never think if I'm touching a door handle. I used to not think about that 100%.
Yeah.
In the bathroom, doing your business,
And
And Brian Romano, I do want to point out that was a good question. That is a fair question and a really good topic of conversation. So yeah, we're very passionate about it. It's our bread and butter. We are working hand in hand with boots on the ground. We're doing everything that we can. So fair question. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I don't think that Pool League is going to be any riskier than anything else
really.
that's opening up in a certain pace. And so I'll be surprised if you see a lot of restrictions come back, just because I think the world has said, hey, at least here from what we see, have you guys been out? We should state, has anybody been out over the last week, done anything significant? I went to my first restaurant, which was big for me. What about somebody else? What did you do? Did you take it a step further than you did, previously based on
Murdoch's
COVID?
raising his hand, and I'd like to hear what
Murdoch,
he did.
don't tell me how you went to McDonald's drive-thru or the grocery store. You better have something good.
You danced naked in the middle of the street or something.
Tell us what you did. It better be a good one.
Well, first of all, Steve, I do that on a regular basis, so that's nothing new.
Yeah, it's fair.
Secondly, I went, so I do a little bit of biking, and I took my bike in to get tuned up. Wasn't a whole lot of people in there, but I wasn't wearing a mask.
bicycle? A
Bicycle,
Okay.
yes.
2 words.
None of
Bicycle?
the staff were wearing, but there wasn't a huge crowd in there. Couple of things that I learned while I was in there, their shelves were almost completely empty of bikes. They said they have been bought up like crazy. Yeah. People are going biking and stuff like that. So I went in and took my bike that I had previously bought from them for a tune-up. I get lifetime free tune-ups. And
who knew you needed to tune up your bike?
Yeah.
You got to make sure
forever.
Chain,
you gotta like lube the chain and whatnot.
Make sure it's still tight because they can loosen.
And I thought pool
lube
terms
it up.
were dirty. Biking terms are just as bad as pool terms.
Yeah.
So no one was wearing a mask. I wasn't wearing a mask, and when at the end, before I jumped to the end, instead of having my bike tuned up, I actually traded it in on a new bike.
They upsold your ass. They upsold you.
They upsold me big time.
Better and better.
That's like taking your car in for an oil change and getting
full of suspense.
Pretty much.
So Murdoch got a new bike.
And at the end of the transaction, instead of a handshake, we bumped elbows.
Wow.
And that's big.
Like it was going a little.
You guys sealed the deal on the bike transaction.
Steve knows what I'm talking about.
Did you wear a mask at the restaurant, Jason?
No, so I went to El Maguey here by the office. You guys all know El Maguey.
Yep.
It's got an outside deck. I was on the boat Friday with Bill, and it got late. We hadn't eaten, so we decided, okay, we're gonna go over to the dock. We'll walk up to El Maguey, eat outside. So they had the tables kind of separated more than normal. So I felt fine there, but then you had to go inside to pay when you go. You go to El Maguey, you pay inside. Right. And so I had to wait 5-10 minutes, and I didn't have a mask, and I was so after the fact I was regretful and did I do a bad thing? Kind of, you know what I mean? I had this weird deal afterwards. But everybody there, all the staff there had masks on, and
well, then you had nothing to worry about.
Well, it's weird in restaurants because people are eating, and you can't eat and have a mask on, so the patrons didn't have masks on while they're sitting there, and I
lift it up.
Yeah.
I feel like when you go to the restaurant, you don't see a lot of masks here in Missouri. When you go to the grocery store, you see more masks. So it just depends on where you're going now. I'm pro mask though. I'm pro mask. I don't mind wearing a mask.
I think everybody knows where everybody stands in this group.
Yeah, that's right.
What am I
I just
wrong,
like him
kids?
as a fashion piece. I think they look pretty cool.
Tell.
I go out with my mask on and look like a bank robber or something.
Do you drive with the mask on by yourself?
Dear God, no. Please tell me no.
No.
And if you do, lie.
This
is your opportunity. Don't tell us the truth.
Don't check any streetlight cameras.
We're gonna make fun of you.
Jason does not wear his mask while driving, but when he's on his horse going to rob a stagecoach, he's got his bandana on.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
You know what I'm curious about? Do you think if we have our event in August, do you think we'll wear masks out there? Nicole, what do you know? You know a little bit about tournaments. Do you think we'll have masks on out there?
Yeah, Nicole, what do you say?
Yeah.
Masks. If we can even have the event, probably masks.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'd be happy to wear.
I have to go to the doctor on the 18th, and I got a message that I have to wear a mask, and I do not own a mask.
Do you want? I have 18 different patterns, and I haven't worn them all. You can borrow one.
Of course, you have 18 different patterns.
Steve, you'll have to let us know if the chat blows up after we mention the possibility of requiring participants to wear masks at the tournaments if the tournament's going to happen. So I'm curious, but that's not an official thing yet. But I think it's probably something that's being talked about because I saw that the hotels that are opening up, which I guess are Thursday, some Vegas places open.
Yeah.
They are requiring all the staff to wear masks, and then they're giving the guests masks and strongly encouraging them to wear them. So, if you're going to have a pool tournament in the hotel with a couple thousand people, it probably makes sense, at least in the tournament area, to be wearing a mask. So we'll see.
Westgate doesn't open up till like the 18th or something, doesn't
No,
it?
but most of the, or not most, but some other Vegas casinos start
I
opening
think
on
the
the 4th.
Wynn opens Thursday, Wynn Resorts, and I can't remember the other one that I saw.
So
But yeah.
we might be running around
Yeah,
in masks
Thursday.
in Vegas.
So real
Oh,
quick,
Greg
a
Jones said
sexy
the one in
one.
Cape Girardeau's open. So
Possibility.
and he showed me all kinds of pictures of that. The one in Cape Girardeau, the casino there, Brad had sent me some pictures there, and they had all the dividers and all the table, some of the table game stuff that they hadn't opened. It was all basically just everything was partitioned. So
It's pretty impressive to see how businesses have adapted and changed things
quickly.
And I know like and Nicole probably has been involved in some of these discussions, but I know Bill and a whole group of them at the office are talking about the things that have to change in Vegas if we are able to do an event, like with registrations and
for like minis.
Yeah, because so many people, like we have to find ways to safely move people. So, we don't know if we'll be able to have an event, but if we do, we're going to be prepared. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have ever been in the minis room. I mean, I know you guys have, but
She's
can you
speaking to
imagine
the people
To the
swatching.
chat.
I'm
Hi,
speaking
chat.
to
We
my
love you.
followers.
hi, peoples.
We all follow Nicole.
Social distancing in the minis room. How
Not gonna, that's not a thing that happens.
that-
There is no social distance.
It's a nice
I
thought.
feel like I'm making out with people as I walk
I know. I feel like it should be taking people out to dinner and
There's a
stuff.
lot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't even say excuse me anymore because it's just impossible. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like the little beep beep.
thank you.
Nice.
But I mean, aren't they talking about like doing Mini Mania registration online and stuff
Digitally,
like
yeah.
that?
Stuff
Oh
to
well,
reduce
now the
crowd.
cat's out of the bag.
Well, I didn't say we were. I said, aren't there discussions about stuff like
Too
that
late,
to try
Jason. Way to go.
try to
Is.
reduce the amount of people grouping together? And I don't know if you can
because
keep
we
people.
all
Trying to do
know.
because of the social distancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right up there by that's where the big happens, right?
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
cool. So we're
Adam,
That's the
adapting.
one Peggy's in charge of, right?
Partitions that most businesses have, the plexiglass partitions, and we've been in quite a few meetings about things we're going to do to help out
Make things safe.
the health of our people.
We're gonna put Peggy in a plexiglass box with a little hole where she can like accept a score sheet and return a score sheet.
Do it like those Chick-fil-A's, or those mobile ones. She just walks around with like a plastic one around her.
I think it'd be cool to put everybody in those big bubble balls
Yeah.
and let them just like get to their
Roll
mats
around.
that way.
Yeah.
As I stated last week, I can make a fool out of myself without alcohol. Put me in a bubble, and it's just all downhill. I'm just gonna lose.
The other
I'm not getting in a bubble unless I got alcohol. So
Me either.
I think that's why most people do get in a bubble.
The other interesting thing with some of the restrictions is some of these states are opening up like bars, but they're not allowing people to play on the pool tables. Like,
Right.
And so I know we're
Couple
actively.
of questions in chat about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're actively lobbying some of the states like Texas, Colorado, Oregon to their governors, their state governors, to say, hey, look, the pool table is a natural barrier.
Nevada,
Actually, a pool table literally keeps people several feet apart, and I don't blame. These governors are making all these decisions about what can be there and what can't, and maybe pool tables are like, yeah, fine, put the pool table in there, but maybe we can raise enough awareness to. Probably, but maybe if we can raise enough awareness with them, this is one of the things that APA has really been doing the last couple of months is, advocating not just for the players and the locations, but trying to educate everybody on how they can improve the process. Like I remember back with the government assistance, we were telling the host locations, here's how you can try to take advantage of government assistance. We're trying to help everybody kind of survive this thing, and that's one of the things that I'm most proud of over the last 10 weeks that we've done, or 12 weeks, however long it's been now, as an organization, is really tried not to forget about everybody else. It's not just about, maintaining ourselves, but it's about everybody that's a partner with us, whether it's a host location, a league operator, a member, and trying to grab everybody and pull them through this time. So
I want to be clear to chat, because I know there was a couple of questions, and I was hoping the conversation would come up naturally, or else I was going to bring it up. But we are doing what we can. Like, we're partnering with the league operators. We're working with boots on the ground. We're probably not going to get into the weeds of anything right now because you got to remember there's a lot of different leagues with a lot of different things, and we're not going to say anything to create confusion, and this isn't the forum for that. So, but we are doing what we can. We're on everyone's side, and go team.
And we're in contact with all of our league operators. That's
constantly,
the big thing.
every day.
People don't understand that
every day.
we have over 300 franchisees, league operators across the U.S., Canada, and Japan, and we have staff that are talking to everyone constantly. So please don't think that decisions are being made in a vacuum.
Yeah, and they're not. Well, Chad isn't implying that. They're just they're asking questions.
Your league operator wants to get league back as badly as you do, and so do we. But it's just interesting depending on where you're at. There's different rules, and so the league operator and we have to navigate what the different regulations are, whether it's capacity issues, whether it's these places can open but these places can't, or like some of these states we mentioned that where the bars are coming back, but they're saying pool tables and other types of amusement games are not allowed to be played, and it's like, so we'll see what we can do.
That's part of the frustration, right? Some states are allowing it right away, and other states aren't. So the people who can't do it are saying, "Why is it okay over there, but not?"
I'm just wondering where Murdoch went. I'm sorry.
He went to get another drink.
Search party.
He was so thirsty.
He went to ride his bike. He's riding his bike. Maybe
his brand new bike.
Oh, so you see Becky dip out. She runs over to Murdoch's house, checks on, comes back like a little Roadrunner style.
Yeah, takes the train wheels off his bike and then goes back.
So
home.
are we gonna like reminisce tonight about the last?
I thought we were gonna play a game.
That's what he's talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm asking.
You guys are talking about the same thing, whether you know it or not. So,
okay.
It is about that time we start that. We should wait for Murdoch, but all right.
There he came back. How was your ride? How was your bike ride?
It was your bike ride. Listen to this guy.
It was good. If my bike was on the other side, I would have ridden it across the front.
You're like ring, ring, ring.
Yeah, have you got one of those little bells? You know what I mean?
I don't.
Like Pee Wee Herman.
Like the ice cream person, the ice cream,
Ice cream
man, Murdoch's here. What are you drinking, by the way, Murdoch?
What?
What are you drinking, by the way?
There we go.
Vodka
Kool-Aid on ice.
Oh, no wonder it was so important.
There we go. Okay. So, all right, let's jump into the game. Let me explain it real quick. In chat, I want you to be on your toes because this is something that you can get involved in, and you can actually win this game. The chat can win this game.
Okay? Are there going to be crowns tonight?
Maybe. I have crowns on standby. I will quickly get a crown ready to go. All right. So if you're from the St. Louis area, full transparency, I completely stole this game from a radio talk show here in St. Louis. The gentleman's name is Dave Glover. He's on 97.1. Absolutely hilarious. All credit to him and his team. And if he ends up seeing this later and gets mad at me, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Hugs. But you're hilarious, and all credit to you and your team. So
I'll be really impressed if Dave Glover's tuning in.
I know it'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, me too.
So
who he is.
So tag him if you know him, I guess. Maybe we'll meet him on Twitter or something. But so the premise of the game is we pick a topic, and then everybody goes around and they add one thing to this list. And then we fill up the list, and then we take the items and we push them head to head, and then until we pick the best thing on that list.
Like a tournament bracket, kind of.
Exactly like a tournament bracket. No, I didn't get all fancy and make brackets and do a ton of stuff. We're gonna use this here. But so what we're gonna do is, and I will call you guys out in a nice way. I know that sounded terrible. And so the topic is your favorite moment of the show. Okay, so think about it. I actually sent you guys an email about this, and so I know you guys are prepared. And so I'm going to go one by one, and we're going to add to the list. And then we're actually going to give chat a chance to add a few to the list as well to kind of represent them as a whole, and chat can win. So the last cool moment, the best memory, whoever suggests the best memory when it's all done wins the game. Does that make sense?
Somebody needs to WD-40 their chair. That's all I got to say.
Me? No, that ain't me.
Is it me?
Okay, question.
Yes.
Because I did get the email. However, I don't have that many memories.
So maybe
Nicole
we let
joined. Nicole Nicole joined later
Yeah,
on.
I've only been here like 3 weeks.
Maybe she could go first.
We're gonna let you go first. We'll start with
Yeah.
Nicole.
Blaming me. That's not why.
Yeah, well, you know what? You spoke up, and this is how we solve problems.
Great. I
Think
love
about
it.
last week.
I know
That's
you
what
won
we
some
like.
crowns. How could you not be impressed by the crowns that you won?
So you guys ready?
Right.
Mhm.
So
Was that the cheating
Nicole,
crown or no?
Nicole, what's your favorite memory from your last 3 weeks in the show?
My favorite memory was Tracy's grocery store story
What?
about the reach around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tracy and her reach
we
around.
need to be a little. Oh.
Sorry, YouTube.
Hey,
Way to go, Tracy.
What was that?
Yeah,
I laughed so hard on it.
yeah, there you
I
go.
know
The reach
it
around.
Reach around. That
Wow.
dude was taking too long to pick his meat. That's all.
Oh,
See, there you go. Again.
So much.
Okay.
So real quick,
Okay,
chat.
so the
story
second one will be
was-
pick his meat.
The story was that Tracy went out to the store and she wanted to reach around and help the guy pick out his meat or something like that. It was really
No,
funny. You got to give him some context.
Okay, I'll give him context. I went to the Fresh Time. I normally, in a normal world prior to the pandemic, if someone was, gazing at the meat too long and I just wanted to pack a ground beef, I'd do a reach around, grab the beef, and move on, right? Well, you can't do that now.
It's just as funny the second time.
Funny.
Jason, I think that's when you had to leave.
Yeah.
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 So Jason, you're next on my list. So what's your memory?
I gotta go next.
Yeah.
Well, you
Are
don't
we
have
only doing?
to.
Will I
Well,
have more than one?
you'll end up going around once, so you'll have a
Will
second.
Will we do more than one or?
Well, everyone's gonna get one, and then we're gonna get to chat, and then a few people
Well, I
will
can
have.
tell you I don't have no more. So
But also bear in mind that this
I
is a
have
game.
so many
So-
memories.
but then you got to think of it strategically. What memory is going to win? What is the memory that you don't want anybody
Alright.
else? You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go with the show that I had the most fun with was the Cinco de Mayo one. It just so happened that Cinco de Mayo fell on a Tuesday. Like we didn't plan it that way. I normally don't do anything for Cinco de Mayo, but given that we had been stuck in the house for so long, like Tracy went to the store and got sombreros. Somebody else brought me this Mexican thing that you wear on the front, and I had some margaritas. I think we had like tacos for dinner. So and I got to use like my really terrible 2 years of Spanish that I learned in high school, where I used at least 15 Spanish words
for the
the introduction of the show
And the chili pepper.
And so we called it Martes con Amigos. And so for me, you guys may always know it as Tuesday with Teammates. For me, it'll always be Martes con Amigos.
Okay.
And that was actually my favorite one, so you stole mine.
See, there you go.
I've never celebrated it before until the show. So
Yeah.
that was what I thought.
It's part of the game.
I'll go next. My second one was the episode when Nicole joined us.
Aww.
Aww.
oh, that should have been mine.
To hell with Jake then.
Yeah.
All right, Bex, what about you?
Yeah, my first one was Cinco, though. Way to go, Jason.
Martes con Amigos. Next.
Bex.
Becky?
Okay. I think mine was the episode that when we were supposed to be at the banquet in Vegas. We all dressed up.
Yeah.
Not that this is about me, but that was also the night that we had a storm and the lights went out. And I did the latter half of the show in the dark with my daughter's cell phone light on me so that I could even be seen. But it was
I
nice.
forgot about that.
We'll call that lights
Lights
out.
out.
That was actually one of mine.
Yeah, you saw Murdoch's.
All
Sorry.
right, well, Murdoch, go next.
Memories.
We got to speed up.
Okay. There's so many memories, but my favorite one comes from pretty much every episode. It's said at least once in every episode, but anytime someone said "Shut up, Mark,"
Wow. that was every episode. And most of the time, that's before the show starts. So,
yeah, that's
Wow, look at that.
behind the scenes.
quiet. Quiet. Mark.
Quiet
See, that
Mark.
was-
Shut up wouldn't fit.
So
They
we
only
got
got so
a
much room
reach
to work
around
with.
and quiet Mark. Wow.
All right.
Quiet, Mark, reach around.
So Tracy's next.
I'm gonna have to. I can't believe nobody has said this yet. But,
Too easy. It's too easy.
Oh,
Are you gonna say
fine.
it? I'm gonna write
Go
it.
ahead. You can say it. Somebody's got to write it.
The tiny hand.
I
Little
knew it.
tiny hands.
Tracy, Peggy's pissed now.
Okay, take it out. Give that one to
No,
Peggy.
no,
Yeah,
too
give that
late.
one to me, 'cause
No,
I
no,
don't think
no.
nothing
Too late. You already said
Jake's
it.
tiny hands.
That's
You
right.
can also do tiny hands / Bill on the inversion table, so Peggy can just have just the tiny hands because there were two really good tiny hands moments.
Just put B. Yeah.
It's hard.
Bill up
You
top.
really got really big font.
Just put. Yeah.
I
Just
did.
put inversion.
Bill.
There you go. I didn't think this part would be the hard part. All right,
Wow.
who's that? So I guess I'm next, huh? What is my favorite moment?
Is it when telling me to shut up?
No. I see
let's do
people
it.
do that a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's all right.
That's so
You know
good.
what? Let's give it to the chat first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's
Way
give
to
it. Let's
ditch it,
give the
Steve.
next one to the chat. Give me a time to think. We'll give Chad a second. Dana
I
also
like
said.
how he gives himself time to think.
Well, again,
Yeah, exactly.
I got all the buttons, man. So it's like my one time where I get to do something. And what is my favorite moment?
Dana said little hands.
She's not wrong. I would say it's going to be kind of hokey, but I'm like that Disney dad that cries all the time. So, but I
Where
thought
are we going with
the
this?
coolest moment about the show was seeing other people do the same thing.
Oh,
Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
we've seen that. Yeah.
'Cause
Damn you, Steve.
you're a hippie.
I am a
I
hippie.
was
It's
gonna-
bad.
I was going to use that.
I'm getting hippier as I get older.
Well, you
Um,
stole mine, Jason, so he stole yours.
That's fine.
But because that was the whole idea behind the show, like, because when this whole thing went down, all of a sudden, all of our, how do we keep everybody together? Because that's what APA really is keeping everybody together. How do we take what we can't do in real life and do it in our online life, at least for a little while? And this is what we came up with. And then, the viewership never really skyrocketed or anything, but the win was seeing all the other people do it. And I did see a ton of that. So, yay. All right, Chad,
Yeah,
I bought you as
that's a good
much
one.
time as I could. Your turn.
I was gonna say that's not a scene from a show, but very nice job.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like rules.
Bit cheating. Yeah, bit
I know.
cheating there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Am I cheating?
So just put Steve cheating.
Well, you talked about
Steve
something that didn't really
cheats.
happen on the show. It was a byproduct of the show.
Oh, so I'm disqualified.
No, we'll
Yeah.
let it. I was going to use it too, so I will let it.
cheats.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Steve
like how
cheats.
Jason
S
slides
cheat.
in. I was
S
going
cheat.
to say that too in a little bit. So
Well, we
Put
did.
SG.
We actually had a group at one team that put
There you
together a
go.
little video of it and
Yeah,
sent it
yeah,
to
yeah,
us.
yeah.
And so that we saw a lot of league operators that started doing these with their league players. Some teams doing it, and so like Steve said, that was the goal when we started this was to get people to do the virtual
Connect.
happy hours with their teammates, and I think to some degree we had an effect. Although I think people liked hanging out with us so much that they just started coming on Tuesday. And,
Which was cool.
yeah,
Which is cool. So
Dana.
Dana chimed in. I gotta get this over here. Oh,
Dana Patton,
Dana Patton.
Dana
Murdoch
Patton.
trying to draw a bad hit.
You want to go over to 9, Steve?
was that the one that looked like a penis on the
trying.
table or something?
No, that was
There you
chalking the cue.
Or the
Yeah.
arrows.
That was mine.
Murdoch used the arrows and he wasn't supposed to.
That's right. So M cheater.
Hold on. I'm in Photoshop now. We're gonna solve my problem here.
No one ever told me I can't use arrows.
That's
Murdoch,
true.
I was very clear. You have to draw.
But you told
Very
him after he did it.
No,
You gotta
I was
do
very
the draw
clear.
ring.
I will go back. I will go back
I know,
to that
I
video
know.
and send it to you.
I know,
Do
Tracy.
that
Shut up.
because your rules
got it.
were no words or numbers. No letters.
What did
or
the
numbers.
first thing you did was
Numbers.
words and numbers, right, Murdoch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cheryl says watching us every week.
Oh.
See, you can't say stuff like
We
that.
can't
I'm the
stop
Disney
doing tiny
dad.
hand slap.
I don't know if that one should be number 1 or number 17.
It should be number 1.
Obviously.
I would put it number 1.
Oh wait,
but that'd be
number
hard to
17
do.
means it would be.
Yeah, you're in the other box. So.
Yeah.
All right, back up to you, Nicole.
I'm good. I had that one
Bowman.
She's good for one
You're
moment.
cashed
that's
out
it.
on the one. Gotcha.
Yep.
We're gonna fill these out real fast. Bowman.
Okay,
let's see.
the episode where I win the crown. That was. I like that one.
Mark
Where I got all the
wins.
trivia and everybody got it all
Not Mark.
wrong and I
It all-
crushed everybody. Remember that?
Wow.
And then the next week, Jason stole it from me. Remember?
Pascal's got a good one. Watching Jason and Tracy argue over Pictionary like children.
That's
Me
true.
and
That's a good
him?
one.
Jason?
You and Jason.
You
Yeah.
know what though? Actually,
Sim-
I was going to say arguing with Jason every week it makes me feel whole because
Normal.
life.
They normally do it.
It's such a common occurrence.
It is. 'Cause, like,
So
like, at work, in the personal life, like that's just how we communicate.
I
It's
will
great.
say I witness it often. Me and a coworker of mine, we find it hilarious every single time it happens, and it's super funny. So we're gonna write that one down. We're gonna call it sibling rivalry.
Real
Okay.
world APA.
It is.
Jason never got to give a number 2.
Number 2.
At this point, just shout.
I tell you what. One of the things that I like the most about it. I actually had 2, and one is that we just heard. Did we just hear a chirp?
Yes, Becky,
Yeah.
those are not freaking birds.
Yeah.
Well,
Chirping.
okay,
The
so
chirping of Becky's fire alarm for the entire
that was my
pandemic.
other-
She told me this morning it was birds outside.
but it was birds this morning. My daughter confirmed it.
Well, if we're going to
So
talk
it wasn't
about
that you were
that,
too
then
lazy.
let's
It was
talk about
birds.
Sounds like birds.
So for the chat who may not know, this has been a running gag since the first episode.
And we
We've
just
had
heard it.
the fire alarm chirping in the back, and we have now come full circle.
It's still there after all this time.
It's probably I went and took one out. I couldn't let the end in silence.
That's great. Shout out to my wife and Jason's wife. That was very sweet, the both of you. They said they like it when we laugh, Jason.
Oh,
That was
they
very
probably
sweet.
They probably haven't seen enough laughing over the last.
It's tough being a dad sometimes, man. You got the whole weight of the world on your shoulders, and then you got the weight of work, and just try to keep smiling. It's shout out to all the dads out there trying to keep it together, and moms too. Everybody.
Are we just yelling out moments at this point?
Yes,
Yeah.
please yell.
Yell one.
I liked it when Jason sang the Simon song.
Truth. I forgot about that.
You know my name is Simon, and I like
Simon
to
song.
do drawings. That's from Saturday Night Live, like in the 90s. Wasn't
What
that?
about the,
Wasn't that? Who's
Macaulay
the
Culkin?
Austin Powers? Mike Myers.
Myers.
Mike Myers.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mike Myers.
Wasn't he Simon? Was he-
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
I think so. All right,
So
Chad,
guys,
feel
I
free to
have
shout too.
Bono.
Becky, go ahead.
I have one. I don't know if anyone else thinks it's as funny as I do, but it was the episode where we talked about if we could only watch one show, what would it be?
Oh,
And Peggy said the first 48 hours, which was great. We went through all that, and Steve's like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, I have to know how to get it. It helps me to know how to get away with stuff." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"For the love of God." Now in a court of law, I can't even pretend like I didn't hear that because it's on record.
and you know that's what went through your mind. And Nicole, had you been on here, you would have thought the same thing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're like, damn it, you gave it away.
yeah.
I like that.
How many
That was a
times
good
has
one.
I would
Peggy
have to get
screamed into
married, so I couldn't.
How many times has
testify.
Peggy screamed into the TV with the first 48? Ask for a lawyer. Don't say.
Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah. What are you doing
Remember
talking
last
for?
week when Peggy didn't realize she wasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, talking to her dog. Yeah. Yeah.
What's worse than
Peggy-
all of that is the notebook that Peggy keeps next to the table as she's watching the first 48.
Yeah,
Note
so
to
she can
self.
take notes.
What? Do you really do that?
Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm taking the last one. I'm putting in the last one.
I
Okay.
bet you
And the
Scott's
last
nervous
one.
all the time.
Shut up, Mark. The last one.
Hey, there we go again.
The last one is going to be. The last one's got to be all of you guys getting out of your comfort zone to do this because
Truth.
it's one thing for Steve and I to get on a live stream. We do it a lot with what we do for work, but for the rest of you guys, you guys really committed to doing this, and I know it maybe wasn't the easiest thing for you to do, but you kept doing it, and I think we all had a lot of fun doing it, and I think we helped a lot of people doing it. So kudos to all of you who committed to doing it for the last 10 weeks.
Yeah,
That was
no
awesome
doubt.
for sure. So
I have a really hard time being like in the public eye. It's very difficult.
So it's,
Okay,
and it's
so
always,
everyone
it's
but
always
Tracy.
good. Always good to
She
do
takes a
things
sip of her
outside
drink.
your comfort zone. That's a good message for the viewers.
Tracy has
Always good to
18
do stuff
mass.
outside your comfort zone.
We support your struggle, Tracy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
was for me too.
All right,
Oh, for real.
so we've got all 16.
All right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to, I don't know if it's got a name for it, but we're going to do 1 verse 16, 2 verse 15, and I'm just going to delete the one
Oh, the
that doesn't.
tournament bracket, Steve.
Hey, man, I didn't know if there was like a specific word for the process. I'm a geek. Anyway, so I almost hate to say it, reach around.
Do we get to vote? Or,
Yes, we're going to decide as a group. We're going to
we
decide as a
vote,
group.
or the people in chat vote.
So
Chad will be the
here's-
tiebreaker.
Chad will be the tiebreaker, so because
Okay.
we'll need to blaze through it pretty quick.
Okay.
And, so I can't believe I'm
Number
allowed
1.
to say this
He
online
said
and not get in
blaze.
trouble. Reach around versus comfort zone.
Ooh, tough call.
I'm
around.
gonna be I'm the hippie. I'm gonna say reach around. Comfort zone sweet, but
Reach
reach around's
around.
hilarious.
Yes. Reach
I
around.
go reach around.
Yeah, reach
Oh,
around.
well, hell, I'm going reach around. That was my
Yeah, yeah. Going for the pack. of
Hell
meat.
yeah, I'm going reach around. What's going on? All right,
So do a little emoji, if you will. Do we need to do that or no?
do I just like who
Just
won?
strike
I'm
'em
just
out.
gonna delete it.
Just
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Somebody screenshot it though, so we have our original. I guess it'll be on here forever. We're recording it. I'm a dummy. Ignore me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do we
It's
really need it on
Just
here?
All right.
online for the rest of your life.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
all.
so
and even after. So
right.
All right,
Mike,
reach around wins.
Reach
Nicole.
around wins number 1. So we have Peggy has no idea how to use her mic and repeatedly, or Cinco de Mayo, or Martes
Peggy's
con
mic.
amigos.
Peggy.
I'm going Cinco de Mayo.
Of course you would. That's you.
Chat, go
I'm
ahead
gonna
and
go.
jump. Chat, go ahead and
I'm gonna
jump
go
into this
Peggy.
one. I think this one's gonna be maybe in the middle.
That's a hard one for me because
Yeah.
I felt like Jason's enthusiasm for, I don't even remember what you call it. What do you say, Jace?
Martes con amigos.
Yes, and you were so excited, but I also find Peggy hilarious when she
All
forgets that her
I can
mic.
I can accept defeat. I just love that episode because I would not have had as much of a Cinco de Mayo as I did that Tuesday if not for the show.
I shouldn't
Yeah.
get a vote because I didn't watch that episode.
What?
You're fired.
Wow.
All right,
Yeah.
well,
Probation.
Pascal
if
said
nothing
Peggy.
else.
yeah. So we're gonna
Number
give it
two's
to
gone.
Oh,
Pascal, the only person in the chat.
nope.
making any
Cheryl just said
Yeah.
Jason's.
Yeah. So now we're
So
tied
what's the
again.
consensus?
No, I thought we went with Peggy's mic.
Yeah, we went with Peggy.
All right, we got Nicole joining us versus Peggy is scary.
We're going to go ahead with Peggy on that one just in case she gets any wild ideas.
Everyone agree with Peggy.
That's
All
right.
the
I
way.
have my.
That's right. Whatever Peggy says. That's right.
It's so good.
I am certainly not going to walk in the office with my back to Peggy.
Right.
All right, we got Lights Out
There's
versus
Chiv.
Jason is Simon.
What was Lights Out?
Becky,
Becky's
the
sitting in the
using
dark
her
for
phone.
half an episode.
Oh, Lights Out.
I don't know.
Becky
What I remember from Becky in the Dark is Jason saying Becky is on the scene of the Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
I
that's
thought that was
right.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Honestly, that
To be
seals it
honest-
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I'll
going to go with
that
the.
one, too.
I'm going to go with the lights out.
Yeah.
It felt like the Blair Witch Project because my daughter literally had her phone and she wouldn't sit still, and I was getting nauseous. And
That was good. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That was good.
I think it's a good one. It's a good
All right.
Jason just comes in and says, "Hold on, Becky's on the set of the Blair Witch Project."
All right, we got Chirp Chirp versus Shut Up Mark.
I gotta go chirp chirp. That's
I gotta go chirp chirp.
the classic reoccurring
Shut
show
up, Mark.
theme.
It's just a normal
everyday thing.
Wow.
I love
Okay.
you, Mark.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Quiet Mark.
It's
Mark, I'll go with you,
that'll be
buddy.
the day.
Uh-oh,
There you go.
Chad. Uh-oh, Chad.
Oh,
We need you.
What?
Well, you guys are
If it's
split
only
down the
Pascal,
middle.
I got to go in for me.
No, chirp chirp. There's no way we
me.
can't go with chirp chirp. That's a
Hilarious.
running gag, and we heard it tonight out of nowhere. The chirp,
All
right
right.
when it was
Oh, we've
like
also
on
heard-
cue.
Go
the chirp was
ahead.
there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's almost like Becky's got a button and she pushed it right on cue.
Yeah. She did.
Those
phone.
birds on the front porch, Becky.
Chirp, chirp.
All right,
Big bird.
sibling rivalry versus Bill upside down inversion table.
Sibling
I'm gonna
rivalry.
go sibling rivalry.
Sibling rivalry.
Love you,
Yeah.
husband, but
Hi, Bill.
bye.
He's
Yeah,
gonna,
we almost saw. Yeah, he had shorts on, so that was a little.
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah, that was scary.
A little awkward.
he needed to either commit or just not commit at all at that point. But
Well, he was halfway there.
all right, tiny hands versus Mark wins it all.
Not
it's
even
gotta be
close.
Mark
Dude,
Wins.
not even close. It's a tiny.
Yeah, it's got to be
hands
Mark
all
wins
day.
it all. I mean, geez,
Pun
I get
intended,
that.
hands down, tiny hands.
Tiny hands.
Wow.
Tiny hand-
That's
Oh
it.
man.
Talk about jealous.
all right, we got Murdoch arrows and Jason accidentally drawn something he shouldn't have versus mine that didn't count anyway. So we're gonna just go and delete mine.
We're gonna have to take out cheaters.
Cheater!
You're out, cheater.
Up. Buttons are hard. Buttons are hard.
Cole,
Surprised he didn't
appreciate
get rid of
you.
9 and cheat again.
I'm curious how you're gonna match these up now.
I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
it the same way.
115,
Reach
yeah.
around versus Peggy's mic.
Reach around.
You gotta go reach around.
Reach around.
Really? Reach
That's
around.
a- that's a
Nothing like
contender,
a reach
folks.
around.
I'm feeling kind of famous right now.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Our viewership just
Doing all the reach arounds
skyrocketed.
at the grocery store.
Okay.
4 and 14.
Keep
I'm
doing
All
good.
right.
reach arounds at the grocery store. You'll be
Lights
famous.
out versus Peggy is scary.
Peggy is scary.
I gotta go lights out there.
What's the Peggy is scary? Hold on.
That she's going to murder us all in her sleep.
It's
She
interesting
never
that they're
knows
both
when
like
he's a
lights
serial
out and
killer.
scary or going head to head. It's kind of
You,
interesting.
you dare go against Peggy right now? Are you nuts? You got to go back into that office.
He knows where I live.
Yeah, your office is 2 doors down.
Well, no, it's not even just that. She knows where my friggin' house is.
Are we putting this to a vote? How are we doing?
I-
I brought you toilet paper though.
Yeah, let's just say
Okay.
don't start your car, Tracy.
We can let chat chime in. They're just a little bit behind us.
Yeah. I would walk home for
I
lunch.
keep hearing that chirp, Becky. I
Tracy.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, I have to keep you
that
wanting
chirp
to vote
is a
in the next
strong
one.
contender.
I agree. Chirp
It's
is
a
it.
strong
Becky is
contender.
disqualified now. She's
Come on,
she's
chat.
dirty.
We need you.
I'll be shocked if I don't know the 2 finalists here.
Yeah, you already know.
All right, I'm just
I
gonna
don't
make a
know.
call.
Roll with
The
it.
show
She
revolves
did,
around
and,
Steve.
and like the fact that she was like the show must go on. Respect.
That's right.
So,
Whatever Steve says, that's right.
I mean, I got the buttons, man.
I know, that's what I mean.
So what is
Hey,
it now?
there we
Is
go.
it,
Got another one. That's 4 nice so far.
is it Tiny Hands versus Murdoch arrows?
Oh, dude, tiny hands all
Tiny
day.
hands.
Get out of here. Tiny
You might as
hands.
well just move tiny hands to the
It's
final.
Well,
going to
hold
be
on,
tiny
hold
hands
Oh,
and
no.
chirp chirp all day in the finals. Come on, let's just get right to it.
Tiny hands.
Is that,
versus
I mean, if we
Murdoch
could skip
arrows.
to that, if it's a consensus.
I feel like, well, maybe reach around is in.
Yeah,
the
I think reach around's
All
got a
right,
chance.
well,
Hold on.
let's
Tiny hands
let's keep
versus
going.
my arrows. That's like a skill level 3 versus.
All right, now, well, here's this. This could be an upset. This could be an upset.
Yeah, do
Reach around versus chirp chirp.
Oh.
Reach around.
I'm going chirp chirp.
Chat, I want you to jump in right away
It's
with
more
this one.
PG and it's
Right.
reoccurring.
Yeah, grab that
here's
pack
my
of meat.
PG, but I will go with chirp chirp for the longevity of it. Although I will admit, the reach around
Reach around was
That was really, really
unintentionally
good.
funny. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize I was being
That's right.
Reaching
inappropriate.
around.
Which is why it's so
that's
funny.
what made it funny.
How else are we going to grab a pack of meat, right?
All we got to
Shut
do
up,
is
Mark.
raise our
There
hand
you
and
go.
vote here, right? Can we make this easy?
All right, I can't say it.
People are.
Who
people
wants
are
to
voting
vote for a reach
around.
around?
Who's voting reach around? Raise your hand.
Everybody.
Everyone.
That is only
Yeah.
three. That's 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay, for chirp
I
chirp.
go for chirp chirp.
I'm
But
chirp
raise your
chirping.
hand so we count them up.
Chirp chirping. Chirp chirping.
One of you have abstained.
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
I already said reach around.
Oh, okay. So reach around win.
Oh,
So do we
reach
lose?
around.
Chat,
Yeah, chirp,
chat
chirp
is.
lost.
Chat's full
chat
reach
is-
around.
Oh, okay. They're full reach
Chat
around.
is
then.
what?
Well, you get what you want on this show.
That's right.
So
That
get
was
rid
a full
of get
reach
rid of
around.
number 12.
Oh,
boy.
did-
Chirp
Did
chirp
the
is out of
reach
the
around
out of
Yep.
the contest.
Oh,
between
Oh,
chat,
wow.
between chat. Anyway,
what's that low on there?
it's me being
It's not high.
a dork.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to use Photoshop in like dark mode to make it look cool, and I'm just looking like a dork instead.
I don't even understand what you're
It's
saying.
What's
totally
that period there for? Oh,
Anyway,
what's that
so
Okay.
we
like
are
how it says
on.
low.
Is it Tiny
Low.
Hands? I'm gonna fix it in just a second. Is it Tiny Hands versus sibling rivalry? Is that where we're at?
It's tiny hands all
Tiny
day.
hands.
Yeah, tiny
Someone's
hands.
bracket, I don't know.
All right, let's
Tiny
fix. Let's
hands all
clean this
day.
Now
up.
you only need the one box, Steve.
Correct. Let's clean this up a little bit.
Get rid of the low.
It's
Lauren.
lorem. It's
Lauren.
lorem ipsum.
Okay, now we're in trouble.
Oh wow.
Now we're
Do
in
we
trouble.
do we just leave it like here and like
No,
what? Okay.
we got to
Do you
get down to get down to a
Okay, I
champion.
have to ask.
What?
Do you have any of these clips?
Not prepared. No.
Okay.
But I am gonna
And
release the
also-
video with it on.
And also, how do we have 3 left out of 16?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
Steve
that's a
doesn't know
big
how to advance a tournament bracket appropriately.
I'm voting for number 1 and 7 in the
Whatever.
final.
Yeah, 1 and 7 in the finals.
I'll go 1 and 7 as
One
well.
and
All right,
Yeah.
this is where it comes down to.
Whatever you do, Steve, don't run a U.S. amateur. You'll be in big trouble.
Hey man, everyone's got a gift.
Can you put a little verse? Can you put a little verse in the middle there?
Yeah,
Little
verses.
VS
What?
in the middle.
Why?
Oh, like one of these?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
reach
go.
around
Now
versus
we got a
tiny hand.
championship.
1
there.
versus 7.
To say reach around instead of just R dot around.
Well,
Do
we're
I
trying
have
to avoid
permission
getting
to do
flagged
that?
by every.
I'm trying to get flagged.
I think we're well beyond that.
Yeah, what you can do is put pack of
There's
meat.
I said peanuts earlier.
All right.
Yeah.
So which one's it gonna be? Are we
Okay, so
voting?
we-
Is the
on,
chat voting?
Chad is voting.
I think chat
Chat?
should vote on this
All right,
one.
leave it to the people. Give
There's
give
one
the
reach
people what they
around and
want.
2
I
tiny
hope
hands.
everybody
All right.
did see the tiny hands.
So
'cause that
chat-
was funny as shit.
The way we're gonna do this is chat. You see Ashley Alejandro, who's happened to be my wife. You see her comment there. Everything below that comment will count as a vote.
Okay.
Now we
I'm
never
ready.
even really talked about what tiny hands was, though.
That's true.
Oh.
That is
It was-
true.
We talked about what reach around was, but
Oh,
tiny
that
hands.
was yours, was it not?
No, it was Jake. Remember, Jake was on the show. Jake Bias, the first several
Oh
weeks.
no, I said tiny hands.
Right, but
said
then you
reach
took Peggy, and then Peggy was like, "Give it to me," and then that whole thing happened.
Yeah. But the
So-
tiny hands thing was when Jake
Jake
suddenly-
has these tiny little.
and Jake's a big dude, but he had these little itty bitty
Jason,
hands.
you could have a petite person with
Started
these tiny hands, and they're like little tiny hands.
And he
And
would
like-
So it's
hold
would
his
like-
claw
he'd be
with
like-
them, and he'd be touching his face with the little hands. And
And he just
It's-
slipped them up and was like, "Oh, for something."
It was, but the
Remember,
funny
he
thing-
was going like this with him, talking.
And he-
and I was like,
yeah, he did it multiple times during the show, and it wasn't until like 25, 30 minutes in that someone, I don't remember who
It
recognized
took
it.
us forever
But, like
to
he
catch it.
was like,
he interjected them subtly, and it was hilarious.
it was pretty funny.
It was
pretty
also one of the
funny.
highest viewed shows, I think. Tiny
That is
Hands.
also true.
Yeah.
I'm a tiny hands guy. I'm on the tiny hands train.
so it's out in chat. It's
My
3-2
hands are
right
big,
now.
but I like the tiny hands.
Yeah.
3-2.
I,
Do you have
Uh,
tiny hands, Jason?
No, I got huge hands.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh yeah.
all right, I think let me count this up, see where we're at.
I'm going reach around. A. To
Yeah, me
support my
too.
girl
Yeah, we know what
Nicole.
you're doing.
B, because it was my unintentional funny. And
It's,
C, it's against Jason.
oh, it is.
How is it against Jason?
no, it
You
was
voted for tiny hands, fool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I voted for
yeah.
Tiny hands.
Well,
I'm going to
I
have to go
think-
reach around too.
Tiny hands had a visual element to it.
So with the
So
voting,
did the reach around. You
So
just
did
were
reach
not on
around if you thought about it.
See, I think the thing with the reach around is I
think
had
that
lost
you
my
guys
connection.
Did this when
I totally lost my connection with it. So
But reach around has more life to it. You can keep going different directions. It's like a spider web.
that's what. Oh, there's so many jokes right in there.
Exactly.
There's so many jokes.
And the
Different
and the sub to it
direction.
is the pack of meat, right? And that becomes a whole spider web. So,
Chad
We're
is
not going to be sponsored on the YouTube, friends.
Chad is deadlocked. They're 3-3, so it will be up to us. I will
Where is
abstain.
Bill Tufts?
You can't ask your husband.
yeah. Well,
Why?
jeez.
Is this like call a friend or
Unless he
Lifeline,
picks
or-
reach around, then ask him. Okay.
I think you would be honest, and I think you saw both.
What's
I
the
think
vote
we
in the
stay on
chat?
here until some chatter breaks this tie.
Okay, fine. But I'm
We will
hungry.
sit here all night until one of you breaks this tie.
I'm hungry. Can somebody tag somebody in the
It's kind of warm in
chat?
my room here.
It's
I got Qdoba on the way. Please vote. Please vote.
When I was
Jason, did you eat dinner yet?
No, I got Qdoba. I'm waiting on, so I'm really wanting somebody to tell
Is
me
Tuesday
whether.
like Tuesday dinner out for you?
Yeah, because
people?
I got it. Because I do the whole Tuesday with teammates.
What's
It's like right during
Qdoba?
dinner time. So
Jonathan
You don't-
Whitaker just joined. He
That
should
Mexican,
choose
I
the
assume?
winner.
what did he vote for?
He
Yeah,
just joined, so he has no clue what the hell is going on.
My gut tells me Jonathan Whitaker has not seen either one of these clips.
No.
Jason. Jason,
But he can look
Qdoba,
on the
that's Mexican
screen
food?
and he can tell us.
Yes, Mark. It's Mexican food.
Okay.
They have a website and everything.
Never heard of it.
You know,
What?
Chain, man. Qdoba.
I don't never look for it.
it's
Oh.
like McDonald's and Burger
McDonald's?
King.
You can,
Hold
you
on,
can
hold
eat
on.
keto there.
The same corporation
Can you?
owns one of them.
I don't even know where one would be.
It's like the
Jonathan
Subway.
Whitaker,
of-
he says he's so confused. Me too, brother. This is not how I thought my day was going to end up.
Jonathan, you
Just
just have
pick
to
one,
choose
Jonathan,
one.
so we can eat dinner.
Google.
Oh,
Vicky Catalano
How do you
says
spell
split
it?
the money.
Let's
Flip
split
a-
the money.
Flip
a
a
freaking
freaking
coin.
coin.
Out of all the viewers we have, nobody can say reach around or tiny hands.
Pascal's
Please tell us one or
trying.
the other.
That's because they can't see the clip.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
but I'm telling Jonathan to just choose one.
Oh shit!
We just need one tiebreaker,
You just
folks.
you dropped your drink?
One tiebreaker.
No, I had the little swizzle stick in my mouth, and I went tink, and it went. Brink. I don't know where it went.
Maybe that's
where
a sign.
did we stand in chat or in here? What
Did
did
I
you guys
win?
vote?
I voted tiny hands.
So we got one tiny
Reach around.
hands. Reach around.
Reach
Reach
around.
around.
Tiny
Okay,
hand.
raise your hand if it's reach around.
Oh, it's
That's
done.
a 4.
It's done.
That's it.
That's it. Reach around.
Jacking around for.
I don't know. Reach around. I don't know what we're jacking
I
around
didn't-
for.
Jack around, reach around, pat the
Oh
knee.
man, you
Pascal
really
did
are.
just get Jonathan Whitaker to say tiny hands. So
Too late.
he
I will
says
say, honestly, it's a pretty close. That the tiny hands was that
do
was.
we split
It's a
the
little.
pot?
It's a little more PG. The tiny hands is.
John
not-
Lewis says
Oh,
reach around
mine
with
was
tiny
not
hands.
meant to be dirty. It was a legit.
The only
grocery
reason it's
store.
funny is because of
Because
the
it wasn't.
phrase.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I do when I-
UrbanDictionary.com.
Anyway,
We
So if
wouldn't
you've
even
not
let it
seen
be
those
national
episodes, if you've not seen those episodes, they are all on YouTube. We archived everything. They're also right here
Oh,
on
yeah.
Facebook. Feel free to hop in any of those videos and just tell us how cringy we are. We respect your opinions and agree with it. So
Yep.
it's
So
That's the
Jonathan commented, "Is this prison team names?"
He's a
Ooh, that's a good
programmer.
tiny
Oh,
hands
they're
and
pretty
reach
good.
around.
That's right.
We could form a band with that.
Yeah. Ladies and
So is-
gentlemen,
So
tiny hands with
is that
the
it?
reach
Is that a
around.
wrap on
that's
the
that's the game.
Right.
And I couldn't
Tuesday
even
with
tell who
Teammates
won.
season 1 is that's
Reach
it.
around.
It's like
That's it.
That's it.
Nicole
It's all over now.
I'm gonna
Now
miss
what?
this.
Do we
Like,
all
I'm
get
not
crowns?
gonna lie. Like, I get my Tuesday night back. I can go back to the gym on like tonight. I wanted to go to the gym, but I was like, no, I can't. But now I'm kind of sad.
You almost don't want to turn it off.
Well,
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
just know we can always reassemble if circumstances call for it. We can always bring the super team back together here, but our hope is that we'll see you sooner than later on a pool table or maybe
Or in
even in our
Vegas.
tournament in Vegas. So, and if you
Vegas,
do come to Vegas and you see one of us, make sure you say hello and see how we're doing. And it's always good.
Give
to hear
us
from
a.
viewers.
Oh,
And
no.
you know, reach around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was going, Nicole.
Let's have a beer or
That's
something
where I was
first.
going.
Say hi from a distance.
Yeah, that's right.
If you
Don't
see
reach
Mark,
around.
I will not be reaching around.
That's right. Don't grab my
if you
pack of
see
meat.
Mark out in Vegas, just tell him to
Shake,
shut
you
up.
can
We
shake
should
Jake's tiny
make
hand.
T-shirts with packs of meat on them,
Yeah, exactly.
just for us,
Uh,
with like a hand coming.
It'd be perfect. Or a small hand, a little tiny
Oh
hand.
my god, a tiny hand with a pack of
Oh,
meat,
Yeah.
tiny hand.
like
tiny
John
pack
Paul
of meat.
suggested.
Make
Yeah,
it
that's
happen.
right.
Are we gonna let everybody sign off to the viewers? Anybody got anything else they want to say to the viewers? Nothing.
I'll say this.
I always
We
I
said
have
it. In
really enjoyed the last 10 weeks?
10
Has
weeks.
it been
10 weeks.
Has it
10
been
weeks
10?
of the show, 12 weeks
Yeah.
of the pandemic.
Wow.
And I know there are a lot of you guys that join us every single week.
Yep.
We love you. It's amazing. And just keep being APA members. Like, the community we have is amazing. And I think if we just keep pushing forward, we're going to be back on those pool tables in no time, right?
We're getting closer and closer.
I don't know. There was a news broadcaster back in the 60s or 70s that he ended his show, and it kind of fits with Pool Players.
Ron
He would always end
Burgundy.
the show with good night and good luck.
Okay. Good night and
Oh.
good luck.
What's that?
Who was that? Walter Cronkite?
Google
I think
it.
so. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
He was a foosball player?
Who was
No,
really
he's
good.
Really
a
fast.
news anchor.
No,
Yeah, news
no, he
anchor.
was a news anchor, and it fits with our Pool Player.
Oh, you said
Right
foosball player.
here. Good night and good luck.
Yes.
And remember, people, if you can be anything, so be kind. It's not hard.
Yes!
It's free, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, girl.
I love that, Becky.
I fist bump you.
It's a good way to end it.
There you go. Is that
So
working?
that's
can't,
it. That's a wrap, right?
Oh,
That's a goodbye from the teammates.
yeah, we love you guys.
Tuesday with teammates. Be safe.
Thanks for
Be
hanging
well.
out with us.
Thanks
See
for
you in
tuning
league.
in.
I
See you
don't-
in league.
I'm not hitting the button.
Oh,
You're not
I ain't
hitting
hitting the button. I ain't doing it. We're still live. I ain't hitting it.
Oh, wow.
No, we're on
Wow.
live forever now. No, I'm
I was
kidding.
going to say something about
Love you guys. Hang in there. Be strong. Be APA strong, and we'll talk to
see you
you
in
soon.
league.